Hi everyone. So here we are looking at our application, currently at the online version of the application. And so far we have been accessing the application using the IP address and the port. And while this works, it's not what you do normally on the internet, right? So normally you'll have some kind of a domain name, right? So a domain name .com.pl, .org.net, whatever there is. And in this video, our goal will be to set up such a domain for our server, our application. And while this is not going to be free, these domains are relatively cheap. So I would say around $10 a year. Okay, so first off, what we need is we need to actually register our domain. And this is done only through entities called registrars. And one of these registrar is Namecheap, and Namecheap is not, sadly, a sponsor of this video. However, you can go on namecheap.com, and here you have to set up an account. And I already have a number of domains with Namecheap, and I just think they are the most affordable around here. So what you can do is you can go on Namecheap, you create an account there, and then you can search for domains. So here I've did some digging around, and I know that basically what's still open is the domain name of my server, or not my server, but of my YouTube channel. So let's search for it. And now you will see that tomacintech.com is actually available. It costs $8.99 a year. And that's very cool. And we also have some kind of promotion for the first year. I think this is very, this happens very often with this registrar, where they offer a very good deal for the first year, but then they are more expensive for the next year. So actually here, if you take a look, basically Namecheap does the same thing, but here they have the price for the first year in a very small font right here, right? While the actual price of the domain per year is here. It's clearly visible, and some entities will have it different. This is also why I like Namecheap. I think they're fair. Okay, let's add this to the cart, and let's check out. So here you usually will have this fee. This fee will be the same with all the registrars, and you will also have some privacy. And domain privacy, it's really cool. It's free on Namecheap. It will basically hide your personal information while you will register the domain, because normally without it, your personal information like a name, surname, address would be visible, because when you register a domain, you need to actually give this information. Okay, so we can. So here, you can usually with these websites you get a lot of basic things you can buy. That's of course some cross-selling. However, we don't need that. What I like and what I personally use with Namecheap is for one of my domains, I use their email services. That also works very well. So now I will confirm the order, and let's see. So basically now you have the standard checkout procedure. You just have to pay using your credit card or other means of payment that are available. And I will see you when we are done. So this is done. I'm currently in my domain list. You can see that additionally to two of the existing domains, I have the domain we have just bought. Okay, let's move on. So what you can use is Linode has a very good guide on how to actually configure your custom domain. So let's check the list here. Basically, they say, okay, to register a domain, that's what we just did with Namecheap, and then we need to set your domain to use Linode's name servers. Okay, that's cool. So this is actually done over on the Namecheap website. If you go to the list of your domains and click Manage, here we'll find something called name servers. Yes, and now currently we have Namecheap Basic Dns, and basically what that means is, if I open a new card and go to tomacintech.com, I will most likely see something associated with Namecheap. Yeah, exactly. We can see that basically Namecheap is handling the domain. What we have to do currently is we need to change it to Linode. And here in the guide, if you scroll down, you have the Linode name servers. So let's just go in here, let's select custom DNS, and let's add all the name servers here. Okay, that's 4, this is 5, and let's accept it. Okay, and now this change can take some time. Let's maybe refresh it. Let's see if something changes. Yeah, exactly. And this change to be applied can take some time. So the changes we just did can take a longer time to be applied. I think here the Linode says up to 24 hours. I think Namecheap says a little bit longer than that. However, there are some things that we can do in order for us to sort of kill the time. And what we can do is we can add a domain to our DNS manager. So here in Linode, if you go to the domains here on the left-hand side and just click on create domain, here we can basically insert the domain that we just created, and here it doesn't really matter, the IP address .com. Okay, we'll for now not insert any default records. So let's click on create the domain, and we can see that the domain has been created. So we currently see a list of records for our domain. What we need to do is we need to add a record that will match the domain name to our IPv6 address. And this is what an AAA record does. So let's click on add AAA record. For the host name, and I think that the DNS Manager guide says it, let's for now add www. And what we need to do is we need to get the IP address. So I will for now cancel this. I will go back to the nodes. And here we can get the IP address of our to-do app. Let's go back to domains. Let's go in here. And let's once again go here, www, oops, 3 times W, IP address, and then click save. Okay, we have successfully added a record, that's good. So now let's go back to our guide. We have successfully done the first point, second point, and then the third point. And now we are on set reverse DNS. And what reverse DNS is, so let's maybe start from explanation what a DNS is. And what a DNS is a service that allows you to get an IP address of a server that is behind a domain. So when you go to your browser and when you type any kind of domain, it first needs to do a DNS request to get the IP address of this domain, of the server that is behind this domain. So what reverse DNS is a service that allows you to get the domain name where you have the IP address. So this is basically what we need to configure now. So now let's set up the reverse DNS. So there's a guide, by the way. If you open this should explain it pretty well. Let's actually, I have not have a look here, but yeah, exactly. This explains it pretty well. But what we need to do, it's actually super simple. We go to our domain and to our domains, to the nodes, because now we need to go from the server side. So let's click on our domain on the network tab. And here in the IP addresses, you'll have this address. And now let's go to edit our DNS, so reverse DNS. And now instead of this value that we have here, let's say our domain name. Let's click save. And exactly, here we can get an error. And the error, the result, or the cause of this error is that we just did not yet, or the changes that we just did to the name servers and to the DNS did not yet take effect. They may take, let's say, up to 24 hours. But nevertheless, the result of us getting this error is that I'll now pause the video. And you probably also have to now pause the video. And I'll come back to you when this error will be gone. Okay, so for me, actually 24 hours have passed. And I think last time we tried to do it, we made a small mistake. So here we need to also put a www here. Let's try to save it now. And we can see that everything was saved successfully. Yeah, that's good. And now that everything was saved successfully, I think we can just copy and we can paste it here. However, we will most likely not see anything. And why we will not see anything is because the default port for an HTTP request that we are currently trying to make is port 80. And if you remember correctly, our application by default listens on port 3000. Therefore, let's make a change and make the default port for application port 80. So here we are in our app file, and here we need to change it here to port 80. Okay, Ctrl+S, and I already created a new branch for episode 10. Default port to 80, Ctrl+, and then let's publish the branch, and let's move to our server. Here we are logged in on our server. Let's go into our folder, and currently we could just run our run.sh file. However, what it would do is it would it would actually pull the changes from not from the newest branch, but from the branch that we were actually in. So if you develop it just using your master branch and you keep committing to the master branch, this should work just fine. However, because I'm creating the different branches per episode, I just need to change the branch. And now if we run it, okay, it was deployed. Let's now check if we'll see anything in the browser. And we are in our browser and we still can't reach our site. And I think this is because we need to change one more thing. So if you go in here and we go into our Docker Compose file, so here we have actually port 3000 exposed. And now that we changed the port, we also have to change the port mapping here, because otherwise the port 8000 is closed. So let's here make a commit. Let's sync the changes. Let's move to our server once again. And let's once again run the bash run.sh script. Okay, once again, everything has been set up correctly. Let's see if it works. So just tomacintech.com returns cannot get. However, if you move to to-dos, now you should see the application. And that's it. So here it works, as you can see. Let's try to add something, to do something, delete something. Yeah, our application works. So by now, we probably should set up some kind of redirection from the main route to this route. However, other than that, our application is currently working well. And as you can see, we have now set up our custom domain. One more thing we could take a look at is here we don't see the padlock, and this means that there is no SSL certificate valid, and this is actually something that we'll handle in the next videos. This is a little bit more complicated to achieve. However, this is a gold standard to go over HTTPS, not over HTTP as we are doing currently. We will also tackle this issue in the next episodes. And let's currently set up the redirection I just told you about. This should be super simple. So here in the main file, let's just say app.get, and when we get to the main route, here response request response, and then this function will just redirect as redirect to to-dos. Okay. So that if we go to the main route, we'll get automatically redirected to the to-dos route. Let's make a commit. Let's sync the changes. And here, let's run the script. Okay, now let's see if it worked. Let's go to com, and we are automatically redirected to to-dos. Okay, that's good. It worked. One more thing. I'm pretty sure that if we just go to tomacintech.com, we will not reach our site. And that's quite convenient so that we don't have to repeat the www. And actually, this is super simple to set up. We just need to go back to our domains here. Let's select our domain. And here in the A record, what we need to do is we need to add once again additional A record. However, this time we have to leave the host name empty. So just the IP address, and we save. And this as well takes some time to have an effect. Let's maybe check if immediately we get the result. No. Therefore, I will just pause the video now, wait for some minutes, and once it works, I will just briefly restart it, show you that it works, and then we will make a short wrap up. Okay, so in my case, it was around half an hour. Let's see if it worked. Let's see once again, maybe. Let's remove this. And it seems like everything here is working. Okay, that's fantastic. So in this video, we have configured a custom domain for our server. So we no longer have to come in here using the IP address and the port, which by the way is now set to 80, but we can just use our custom domain. Okay, so that's very well. In the next episode, I think we will start focusing on managing different users of our application, because currently the application, so it's not really possible to use it with more than one user, because every person that comes to the site will see the same to-dos, and this is not very good. In the next, I think, a number of episodes, we will focus on the user management. So we will design a user session, and then we will create a way for the users to log in, to register, and to see only their to-dos. Okay, but this is in the episodes to come. For now, I would like to thank you very much for watching. And if you like the series, if you like my videos, please consider leaving a like button and subscribing to my channel. This helps a lot. Thank you very much, and see you in the next episode.